I'm Shannon Watson for EMS 1. Power stretchers such as these are becoming more commonly used by EMS providers. However, we need to consider some safety tips before using our power cots or conventional stretchers. Let's take a look at a few. Once your patient's loaded up, before handling the stretcher, remember to take those gloves off. Any substance that was on your hands from the patient would then contaminate the stretcher. Now, especially with our power stretchers, be sure to hold the stretcher at all times with two hands in the front and the back. It's very common nowadays to see EMS providers operate the stretcher with just one hand. If your patient shifts or you lose control of your stretcher at all, that patient's going to fall off. So, hold that stretcher good with both hands when lowering or raising in the front and the back before you take off with that patient. If you have to move your patient down or across the street, always be on the lookout for these steel grates. They're a death trap for stretchers, especially at night. You may want to have someone go in front of you with a flashlight, because if that stretcher wheel gets stuck in that grate, there's a strong possibility it could get stuck and you could lose your patient. When you're wheeling your patient across the grass, make sure your stretcher is at a comfortable height for you and your partner. Also, lift up a little bit. That'll give you some good control. If you are to hit some sort of rock or rut, you're less likely to tip over, and it's more comfortable for your patient. When transitioning from one surface to another, like this concrete to grass, your transition point is not necessarily level. You got to make sure, hold onto that stretcher and lift up a little bit so those wheels don't jam in there and then you lose your patient. When you're moving your patient down a hill in the stretcher, be sure to have two hands on your stretcher, walk nice and slow, and remain in constant communication with your partner. One of the worst things you can do is turn around and try and control that stretcher with one arm. Should you lose control in any way, it's nearly impossible to spin around and regain that control. Now, if you have a third provider and they're available, have them spot you on the way down the hill. These were just a few safety tips regarding power stretchers and conventional cots. Be sure to check your services, policies, and protocols. I'm Shannon Watson for EMS 1.